Go.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
We are back, guys, ladies and gentlemen. It is season 3 of the Sportz Nutz. Yes, we are back. We are loud. We are proud, guys. If everybody who's watching right now, coming on, tell us what you thought about that intro. We are still, obviously, we're going to fine tune it a little more, but that is courtesy of this man right here, Mr. Matt Thomas. Matt, I haven't seen you, and I'm going to do the guys, I'm going to really do the corniest dad joke there is. I haven't seen you since last year. How the heck have you been, man?
I've been good, man. I've been well. For the first time in a long time, I haven't been sick over the holidays. But I've been good, man. I've been good. I had a good holiday. The kid had a good holiday. Everything's been great, man. So I can't complain at all.
Absolutely. Look, wait, here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh darn, I was so damn close to being. There we go, Mr. Shane Owen, ladies and gentlemen, and I got you. I want you guys to pay attention to the swag Shane is wearing. His Virginia Tech Hokies are literally about to kick off, unless they just kicked off. I don't know yet, but they're about to. Mr. Shane Owen, how in the heck have you been doing, man?
Oh, man, been doing good. Glad to finally kind of settle down through the holidays and stuff like that. Got a few days up here in the mountains of North Carolina. It was a nice sunshiny day, 40-something degrees outside, but felt like 32. And sure enough, it was anytime the wind would blow over about 10 miles an hour, it was snowing. So got to go out and do the grocery shopping. Got everything on the smoker right now, finishing up, and ready to visit with family and hopefully watch these Hokies do something. Hey, I might be optimistic as that they might keep it within 14 points. You never know, but we'll see. We'll see. We hope that they do well.
Absolutely. Hey, this gentleman right here, y'all. This is our newest member of the Sportz Nutz team, Mr. Hank Russell. Hank, man, how are you doing, brother?
Man, I am good. Oh, I'm good. I got my baby powder on ready to go. I'm telling you. But it's been a slow. But I'll tell you what, y'all's Christmas was good. Mine was slow, so I'm okay with that. Slow is good. That means I didn't have to deal with any. I didn't have to deal with any family members I didn't like, all that stuff. So, man, I'm happier than. Oh gosh, I can think of something right now.
Store.
Yeah,
like a pig in slot.
A carrot and a rabbit in a carrot patch. I don't know. It's good to see you, gentlemen, though.
What the hell? All right, folks. Before we go any further, do not post that kind of comments on our show. This is a kid and family friendly show. If you post that, you will be blocked and removed instantly. I do not care who you are. You will not be allowed to post that again. Do you understand? Please. Thank you. All right, guys. So I did something a little creative. I've already texted everybody.
Somebody
else? What I did. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, all right. So
I was just going to say somebody already not behaving.
Oh yeah, that was an inappropriate comment. All right, so I am number 24 on this team. That's the number I played with almost the entire career. This man right here, though, number 23, Mr. MJ himself, Matt Thomas. How are you doing, sir?
Ready to roll, man. Ready to get back into it. Ready to get back into the fold, man.
That's right. And then the self-proclaimed, wait, here we go. The self-proclaimed point guard there, Mr. Number 32, Shane Owen. Shane, the reason why he said he was the point guard is because he's the shortest one.
Hey, I got to live up the stature, and plus, back in the day, I played a little AAU ball and was a point guard for a team. Assist made me what I was. I didn't care about the points. I'd have like 18 and 4. I didn't care.
You got to give him number 12. He got to be number 12. He has to be John Stockton, man. You can't give him Magic.
Hey,
Stockton. Who's Karl Malone now?
Stockton, yeah. Give me number 12 with Stockton.
There you go, man.
Hey, you already know I'm the 1240, and number 12 is what I wore some through school.
All right,
and all that.
Let me change the number. That is number 12, Mr. John Stockton himself. Ladies and gentlemen, my absolute favorite number all time. And Matt can attest. Shane knows this as well. Number 55. Mr. Hank Russell, Mr. Dikembe Mutombo himself. Let's go.
No. Yes.
Hey, we got a great show lined up for you all. We have a great season lined up for you. We got bigger guests. We got more. Yeah, we literally got more everything you could ever imagine. And guys, I cannot wait to share the good news with you. I've already started sharing it with the team, but I'm gonna share it with you guys momentarily. All right. So here's what's on tap for tonight. We do have a guest coming on the show from the Tired Sports Network. They are based in Dallas, Texas area. So we will talk some Dallas sports with them. Matt's over here salivating because he is looking forward to that. Hold on here. I don't know who this person is, but they need to stop. But he is actually just joined us, so we'll come to him in just a second. We are going to talk some national women's professional soccer. There is a new team that has been awarded. Josh Caboza, whoever you are, please stop posting that. We will not allow that kind of comments in this show. Thank you. And then also, guys, we will talk about college. College basketball is really getting going. Hey, how about Furman? 13-1, just finished walloping Western Carolina. We're going to talk a little bit about college basketball. Hey, women's college softball. It's about to get going. Clemson's going to have a good year. I think Georgia Tech, and which, by the way, Matt, I got to give a shout out to your Lady Yellow Jackets. They are number 13 in the nation for women's basketball. They're doing some good things. So we'll talk a little bit about both men's and women's college basketball. And then, Matt, we know what is really at stake this Sunday with our Dirty Birds. Do they have a hope and a prayer? And do we really have to support the Aints? We'll talk a little bit about that one because it's a really big matchup. And then also the battle for number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs takes battle this weekend as well. Who do the potential for either the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Atlanta Falcons have to host? We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Cannot wait to talk about that. We're going to talk about the NBA. Jimmy Butler, not happy whatsoever. He has been suspended by the Miami Heat. We'll talk a little bit about that one. I know Matt's really eager to hear about that one as well. Then, we obviously, guys, it's a season 3. We're going to give a little rundown of what we're coming with this season, what we're going to talk about, who we're going to have on the show. So we're going to share that information with you. Guys, there's so much we are going to have to talk about. We cannot wait going. Before we go any further, though, Matt, let's give a shout out to our greatest sponsor, our only sponsor right now, but let's give a shout out to them. Tequila's Grill and Easily, guys. If you want the most affordable, authentic, and delicious Mexican cuisine there is, then Tequila's Grill and Easily is where you want to go. Matt, would you please tell everybody what your favorite food is?
Oh, you got to go. We have a wild assortment of foods there, man. You have the quesadilla, the nachos, the pretty much everything nachos, which are my favorite. So pretty much, man, hey, it is what it is. You know,
Shane has a wide variety. You know, the buy one, get one 50% off happy hour drinks Monday through Friday. Shane loves what we love too. It's the
salsa
homemade
bar.
salsa bar.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
guys, Tequilas has it all. Look, if you're looking for a corporate event to sponsor with them, or just want to go have fun around town with your friends, let's get it going. Give them a call today, 864-307-8028. Better yet, stop on by 5155 Calhoun Memorial Highway, Easley, South Carolina, 29640. Again, that is your Tequila's Grilling Easily. And I'm not playing whomever you guys are with these comments. Please stop posting. I do not appreciate them. It's inappropriate. I'm kicking you out right now, actually. I don't care that it's comments, but it's not.
I just saw the comments. I could talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, as number 55, I'm an enforcer. So next time you make a comment like that, I'm gonna roast you. Please believe that, partner.
Right. Please do not. We don't appreciate that kind of comments in here. All right. Before we get any further, guys, we have a really special guest. He is based out of Texas. He's in the Dallas area. I believe he will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not for sure, but he is a really good individual. Him and his partner are really cool guys. They have a good show. It is called it's the Tired Sports Network. They're really the guys, and I promise you, they're really good people. We really enjoy talking with them. Cannot wait to hear his insights about heck, really anything, because they have some really good conversations. I love talking with them. I love listening to them. Without further ado, my good friend, Mr. Dustin. Dustin, how are you doing, brother?
Good. How are y'all?
doing good. How about
Good.
yourself?
Oh man, doing great. I got home just in time for this. Brandon texted me and I had a little emergency and I was like, "Oh my Lord, I'm a guest on the podcast. I got to hurry home." So
This is their network right here, guys. Check them out, please.
yeah.
do.
So I made this pretty cool thing. I mean, if you scan that QR code, you can go check us out on all the networks there. It takes you directly to the links to go listen to us and check out all of our pages. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, TikTok and Facebook. So yeah, we we have our own podcast. Actually, I do want to give a shout out to Josh and Derek. They're also a part of our it's really a 3-man, but Josh had to take some time away, but he's actually joining us back here soon. They kind of started the podcast about 3 months ago, and they had me on as a guest because me and Derek, Brandon, I will correct you. I don't live in Dallas. I live in East Texas, so it's close-ish, but I live in the East Texas area. I'm about an hour away from the Louisiana border, so I'm not far. I'm over in the East Texas area, and they had me on as a guest, and then they invited me to join them. I was really excited about that because I've been wanting to start my own podcast. And so they invited us on, and we've been growing pretty, steadily over the last 3 months. We do all sports. We're really big into the recruiting aspect of having people on. As you were just talking about NCAA softball, we have a Texas commit joining us January 12th. So we're excited about that. She's coming on soon, and she's gonna talk some softball with us right before the season kicks off. And yeah, I mean, we're excited. Derek couldn't make it, but really excited to be here and have some conversations with y'all.
So, Dustin, I got to let you know, I know Derek is a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Matt, he got a big smile when I mentioned Dallas sports, that kind of stuff. So just be forewarned, Matt may ride you with making fun of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey,
no.
Hey, listen. I'm a Cowboys fan too, and I make fun of them myself. So it won't be nothing new.
Don't listen to Brandon, man. We're not gonna come through like berate you like that. Trust me, we're Falcons fans. We've heard it too. So
all
that to you guys.
Okay, so Dustin, you do realize the most hated day in all of Atlanta history is March 28th, right?
Why is that?
Really?
Right there at the social. That's what things came crashing down. The sky came crashing, falling down.
Hey, that wasn't one of Hank's sound effects. That was my bad.
Oh man, Dustin, thank you so much for coming on, man. I love chiming in with you guys. I watch y'all's show. You guys are very you're very engaging. You guys give great material. You really cover all aspects of sports. But what I really want to know a lot more about is you said you have a recruit coming on. What about the recruiting level for going from high school to college makes you guys overly excited for the fact that you obviously you guys are you have a lot of Texas ties. So tell us a bit about like how you get the recruits on, and tell us what is your favorite institution that you have recruits that are going to come on.
So it kind of started with really what happened was, so I had a friend of mine that went to a really big high school over here near me called Gilmer, Texas, or Gilmer High School. And so they have quite a bit of recruits that came out of there. And so it kind of started with him. I just kind of hit him up on Facebook, and it was like, hey, he played at Middle Tennessee and he had got injured. So he was actually supposed to be a 4th or 5th round draft pick to go in the NFL draft this past year. Well, that kind of got shut down when he tore his ACL. And so I kind of hit him up. He came on the show. That's kind of where not necessarily the recruiting part of it, but just the guest part of it started. We had him on. And then I'm really big into high school sports here. And so I kind of was talking with the guys and said, hey, listen, what if we just start getting the recruits on? What if we try to reach out to some of these recruits and have them on the show and just kind of tell us their high school journey, if they went through an anniversary where there was injuries or just what it might be. And so we hit them up on Twitter. We hit them up on Facebook. I mean, we hit them up anywhere we can. We have a lot of people reach out to us wanting them to come on. We've had some big kids on, big recruits. We had the number 1 running back in Texas that went to DeSoto, Texas. He was just on. He's a Aggie commit. So that's kind of the avenue we went. It's really been Twitter and Facebook that's really helped us reach the recruits. And we do have ties. We have a coach coming on this coming up Sunday on our next show. So we're even going in that avenue of having the coaches come on. Our biggest group we've reached out to has been Texas State. The head coach there is GJ Kinney, and he actually he actually played at Gilmer High School. Again, Gilmer was a big area over here, and so we've had quite a bit of recruits on from the show there, and that's just been the avenue we've been at here lately. It's been growing so big. Our whole entire month of December was filled. We had to add 2 extra shows on because we were doing 4 shows a week because we just had so many recruits reaching out to us reaching out to them. We couldn't keep up with just doing 2 shows a week with having all these guests on. So that's kind of the avenue that we've really focused on here lately is the football side of it. And now we're doing all sports. We've reached out to, I said, a softball commit. We actually going to have she's a freshman in high school. She just competed in the Junior Olympics and placed very high. She's coming on after state this coming up year, I think is in February. She's coming on the show. So we're just every avenue of recruiting. It's been a really big thing on our show here lately, and we enjoy it so much. Just getting to know these kids, and we're actually going to watch one of the kids play that we had on. Some of them are still in sports. They're staying through their senior year. We're actually going to a couple games. One this coming up next Friday. We're going to watch a kid play, and then the following Friday we're going to watch another kid play basketball. So it's been really exciting, and we do our shows every Wednesday and Sunday. Those are our main shows. And it's just fun, man. We enjoy doing the recruiting stuff so much, just getting to know these young kids and kind of know their journey and what's next for them in life.
I love what you just said, that you enjoy doing this. So how I started this whole thing is now this is actually 8 years ago. My wife said, you need to do a sports talk show because I'm sick and tired of hearing you always talking sports. You talk about it all the time. And I've had people say that I should do this too as well. Well, I worked in radio for a very long time. I unfortunately last July had a widowmaker. Devastating. Really came very close to unfortunately passing away. Thank God I didn't. I am here. Had a new lease on life. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start getting it going. So I really started like formulating how I was gonna do it. I'd figured out the name, everything, and I didn't want to completely act on it. And then some unfortunate events happened at the radio station. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I got to do this. This is the time is now. I love what I do. And so I had mentioned to Matt, actually, I was like, you know, hey, I'm on show. So he's like, I'll check it out and listen to it. I'm like, all right, cool. So Shane actually had his brother-in-law was on my show to start. And we had so much fun. We took off, and I have had a blast the entire time doing this. You know, almost all of last season, it was Matt and I getting the privilege to do a lot of things. And then Shane, he had to go through some transition. He actually moved. He relocated from the low. Shane, correct me. Is it low country area or the Midlands?
PD, Sand Hills, however you want to call it.
So he was, you know, he was closer to the beach than obviously I am now. Look, I'm 3 hours away from Charleston.
Oh yeah. About an hour and a half from Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, that's how close he was. So he moved up to Simpsonville, South Carolina, which is about 30 minutes away from my house. I'm in Easley, South Carolina. And so Shane is back with us. And so, you know, I love my team. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. And I always tell people, you know, they ask for advice. Is this really like, you know, how do you make it better? Well, you're just talking to a bunch of friends. That's really all it is. And people don't realize that they focus on the numbers and this and that, and then you get stressed out about it. And so my good friend over here, Hank, will tell you, he's in media as well. He'll tell you, just go out and have fun. And you will be amazed at what happens. Tell him, Hank, tell him what you experience.
Well, you know, one of the things is that you have to understand when it comes to this, you know, as far as this media side, you know, when you're in the press, which I have never been in the press, I've always done media stuff, but they're always looking to snipe and looking to get the story or looking to get everything that they need to do, which from what I hear, we might be doing more press work here. But as far as this is concerned, the idea is not to chase. You don't chase, like, I'm trying to think. I hate to use the expression because P. Diddy is the one I heard it from. But, you know, don't chase the paper, chase the situation. You know, so what's the situation you want? You want this to be fun, and you want this to be enjoyable for everybody else. And, you know, we're just getting started here with the season 3, thanks to Brandon inviting me. But man, if we're having fun, I mean, look at some of the best ones out there that everybody loves. They're having fun. It's enjoyable. You know, there's no like vindictiveness. Like I'm not doing this to attack anybody. I'm going for somebody's crown by doing this, but I'm not trying to kick anybody along the way to get to their crown. You know, it's just like playing basketball or any other sport. You're trying to get the championship, but if you can do it with integrity, people will love you for it for more. And I'm just telling you, man. I mean,
my mic was muted. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Shoot, hey, man. Look, I know we're just starting and we're a little bit serious right now, but man, once you start joking around and having fun and stuff like that, they're gonna love it. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
That's what I found to be the most fun is enjoying it. We don't take it serious. I kind of in the beginning when you know even before they got on, I was talking with Derek and. He's looking at the views, and I said, dude, don't look at the views. Just have fun doing it. Who cares if there's nobody in here? It's the joy of doing this. I just genuinely enjoy doing it. And that's what I love most about it is just the enjoyment of it. I don't care how many people are watching because I'm not trying to be like ESPN having millions of people watching me looking over numbers and analytics. It's just about having fun doing what I like to do.
Oh yeah. Joy is genuine.
It is.
That is right.
It is. And if you put the best in your product and in your business, the money will come. That's the thing, metaphorically speaking, the money will come. Don't chase the money. You know, put the best in your product. I'm telling you.
I hate to also kind of be like an old cliche person, but I want to quote Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It takes time. And you know, everybody will tell you, Matt has He has been my constant reminder from day one. Don't worry, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. And I can tell you guys, Dustin, your all show is on the right path. I love getting the chance to chime with you. You're engaging. You guys give good sound entertainment, and I say, man, keep it going, man. I really do. I really enjoy it.
Hey, we appreciate that. I mean, we really do, because I mean, we put a lot of effort into it, and we've really just kind of divided the work out. I don't put all the work on them; they don't put all the work on me, and then we each have our part in this to help making it grow outside of just doing the shows. And so we really truly love it. Me and Derek just went to a bowl game last weekend. It was my first college game. So much fun. We had a blast. We went to go watch Army and Louisiana Tech play. Seeing Bryson Daly play in person was unbelievable. And that was really a lot of fun. We were disappointed they didn't get to play Marshall, but of course the portal messed that up. So,
boy, did it ever.
Louisiana Tech didn't have a shot, of course, as we knew, but we just wanted to be there in the environment, and it was a lot of fun. So getting to interact and do that and go to a bowl game was a lot of fun. We enjoyed that a lot.
And I love that, man. See, like it's all about the fun aspect of everything.
No, you see my facial expressions right here. I'm watching. I'm watching right now, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing, but hey, we'll see how it goes. But that's a good thing, Even in bowl season, the college fan base really shows out and does well, and it brings a genuine atmosphere to the sport, especially around a good family holiday time.
Well, I got to quickly give a big shout out to my niece, Sarah. She is watching. Sarah, I'm so thankful you're watching. Yes, I am proud to say that I have the absolute best niece and nephews around, best kids, everything. And William, he is doing fantastic. And then Sarah, it was great to spend time with them this Christmas. I can't wait to spend time with everybody else. So anyways, all right. So I wanted to quickly mention this to you. So I teased it with us too, Dustin, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one. And then I'm going to go around about with my guys as well. Major National Women's Soccer League, professional soccer for women, it's really up and coming. It's really getting going. I'm excited, and I know Roswell, Georgia, which is where I'm from. Matt is really close to Roswell, Georgia area. They're building a facility for professional soccer for women in Roswell, Georgia. Well, also there is a national women's team here in Greenville called the Liberty. So it's really growing. Well, I'm going to ask you guys, and then I'm going to tell you, where is a city you think would be a great location for a professional soccer team? I'm going to start with you, Dustin. Where do you think is a good location to start?
Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know much about the soccer stuff on a lot of soccer, but
what's a good pro sports town for you think?
Well, I mean, in general, you can't go wrong with Las Vegas. I don't know if they have a team or not, but if they don't, it'd be a great place to start. I mean, look what the Las Vegas Aces have done.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I'm familiar with that because they were the San Antonio team of the women's side, and then they went to Las Vegas. And look what they've done there just in a couple of years. The Golden Knights, same thing. Las Vegas, short timing, they won a championship. I think it's just Las Vegas. I don't know what it is about it. It's just Las Vegas. I think that's just a great city. A city I would love to have more, like NBA. I want them to go back to Seattle. I don't know what it is about Seattle, but Seattle, they're missing out on, the NBA big time. That's kind of a western side of the United States, but when Seattle Supersonics were there, I mean, look what they did, and then they went to OKC. So, I think at some point in time there will be a sports team, and I hope to be in every major city. It'd be a lot, but I think it's deserving because everybody wants a big name sport in their town or close to them. And I just think Las Vegas is such a big market. Dallas is as well. Of course, I'm in Texas, but I think Las Vegas is a really, really good city to have sports in.
All right, Matt. What about you, Matt? Where do you think they are going to put a women's professional soccer team?
Well, I mean, I guess nowadays a lot of places are going dome, so that negates any kind of weather issue. But coming from my perspective, I'm gonna do it as if it's not going to be an indoor dome. It's going to be outside the stadium, and you want to look somewhere where you have great weather, warm weather. So Vegas would definitely be a good prime spot. Vegas, you got Phoenix, you have like I said, I like Seattle. People who haven't really been to Seattle like that, the weather there is really, if I had to describe the weather, I would say the weather is really quote unquote chill. I mean, it's not cold. I don't mean cold. I mean, it's just very, it's like, it's very monotone. So, I mean, any place that has, good weather, I can see that happening. But if I had to pick, I would agree with Dustin and go with Vegas, Vegas or Phoenix or something like that.
All right, so we're going to quickly read this from Trey Davis. The Sonics low-key had one of the best jerseys of all time. Yes, they do. Shane's going to step away in just a second, but I want to ask him real quick. Shane, where do you think is a good city to have another professional men's or actually we're just women's professional organization go?
Man, like we've talked about here lately, especially with the MLB talking about expansion, your big cities are up like Salt Lake. I know that they have a men's professional soccer league there. I don't know about the women's, but it's become a big target. Nashville, Memphis area. It's become a big talk about. Charlotte, would love to see it for the Carolinas, even as Greenville or Greensboro, if you want to look on two opposites, north and south sides of it. I'm not sure about Houston. I know the Houston area is real supportive of soccer. If we're really talking about this, a true professional women's team there would be great. And I think community would support it, especially being in the Texas area, but in Dallas Fort Worth, big area, Austin, you look at that, but then you go up to like Kansas City, St. Louis. I think St. Louis is kind of begging for a team to get back in. I think they might sneak in there and with what they have going on, especially as a community. And it's a beautiful place. I've been there before, been up to the arch and looked over the river, everything towards downtown and town hall. It's a beautiful place. So I see places like that. It's all a possibility. I mean, any place that you talk about an expansion team is one of those up and coming areas that would be great and receptive to it. And I mean, you hate to look at it, but mostly that's happening in the Southwest and Southeast. So you don't see much talks above the so-called Mason-Dixon anymore.
That's right. Shane, go ahead and do what you got to do with your ribs, and we'll see when you come back in a little bit.
I got about 5 minutes, and then I should be back. Get all them straightened out.
Must be nice.
We'll be here waiting for you, man.
Yeah, have fun with your luxurious dinner.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, Hank, where do you think is a good city for a women's professional program to come?
I'm good. Well, we're going to assume that this is in the summer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then any city that has a culture that has like an Irish heritage or a European heritage culture, or things of like artistic value and craft beer and things like that. So the first two cities I think of is Boston, Massachusetts, and Portland, Oregon.
I like what you're saying. All right. I like what you're saying. You said Boston because Boston, is a very high-end sports town, right? And then, Portland is a very beautiful town. I mean, it's a beautiful. My cousin Heather lived in Portland, Oregon, and it's beautiful. My sister Michelle lives in Washington State. They go to Portland quite often, and they constantly tell us it's a beautiful area. So I can see what you're saying. But I got one actually for you guys so the closest one that came to who mentioned on our show right now as to the area is Shane. He said Salt Lake. So guys, it is actually Denver. Denver was awarded a National Women's Professional Soccer League team. Are you guys ready to hear how much they had to pay to get this franchise awarded to them?
I'm sure it's disrespectful.
$110 million.
Oh man.
Yes. Not only is that the expansion fee, but it more than doubles the previous National Women's Soccer League record. It will also be the largest ever fee paid for a U.S. women's professional sports franchise. Now, look, I have never been to Denver. Cassie, my wife, has. She has family in Denver. My mother-in-law, Carol, is from Denver. And my father-in-law, Chuck, has spent time out there. He worked with Michelin, so he had the privilege of going out there quite a bit. Matt, have you ever had the privilege to go out to Denver?
I have, man. I was on a flight to Boise, Idaho, and I had a layover in Denver for like a few hours, man. So I was able to kind of, take a whiff of the mountainous air or the high air over there, man. It smelled very, very, very clean. It was my first time over there, kind of in that area. So, yeah, I was over there for a little bit, and I have an aunt that actually stays in Denver as well.
All right. What about you, Dustin? Have you ever had the privilege to go to be in Denver?
No, I've never had the privilege, but me and my wife were just talking about taking a trip out to Colorado. Not really an area, so hopefully that will be a destination sooner than later. But no, I have not.
Gonna hit them slopes.
So, and what about you, Hank? Have you had the privilege to go to Denver?
No, not yet. But I mean, there hasn't really been a reason for me to go over there yet, to the best of my knowledge. And that's not to knock on Denver. It's just, everything that I do in my life has purpose. Like I just got back from Boston 2 months ago. And the reason why I went over there is because I had to drive 30 minutes north to do, video podcasting, camp and conference. So and anything Nashville, like if I go to Nashville, I go there for a purpose. I'm not the guy to just go take a vacation, really, honestly.
So, how, I think you said Boston would be another good opportunity, right?
Yes.
Well, in 2023, Boston was awarded a women's professional franchise. Now, here's where I'm having a hard time accepting this. Denver pays $110 million. Boston was $53 million. Both teams will join the league starting in the year 2026. Now, I do need to give a quick shout out to our good friend Dan Scott, who is the voice of Furman, also the voice of the Greenville Drive. He is a huge Cincinnati fan. He is a Cincinnati native. Denver outbid both Cleveland and Cincinnati for a professional team. However, talks will resume this time next year about a possible team in Cincinnati. So, Dan Scott, we are hoping that you guys will be awarded a National Women's Soccer League team in Cincinnati. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to them. They have not come up with a name yet, but obviously it's really exciting to know that women's sports is growing and growing at a rapid pace. Matt, we had this conversation all throughout the last couple seasons about, basically the whole last season, about women's sports finally getting over that hurdle, finally getting to experience the black zone, which everybody knows the red zone is terrible in like money world, basically, but what's great is being in the black zone. The reason why they call it Black Friday is to get them out of the red and get them into the positive zone. And we've already narrowed it down, Matt. We mentioned it earlier last year actually, that the WNBA for the first time ever is going to start their season in the black zone, and not only in a minuscule amount. No, it's a substantially large amount. And we mentioned this before, Matt, and I'm going to ask you this too, Dustin. And then I'm going to go to Hank. Are women's sports finally here to stay? Are we finally going to say women's sports is where it's at?
I wouldn't say they're quite there yet, but it's definitely growing. Like the WNBA is gotten bigger. I kind of think over the last couple of years it was just kind of stale. I think there's been more exciting players that have recently joined the WNBA, and there'll be more. Women's sports is getting bigger, but I don't think it's quite to the level or even close to men's quite yet. Obviously they demand a lot from. Professional sports for women. They definitely are underpaid. I would agree with that. Compared to the men, extremely underpaid. But I don't know. They're just not. I watch it. I watch the WNBA all the time. I'm just a big basketball person in general, so I watch all basketball. But they're just not quite there yet. I don't know what it's going to take to get there. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just hard to compare it, I guess, because there's not a lot of professional women's sports. You really have the WNBA, and that's almost. Outside of the soccer too, that's about it. There's so many more options on the men's side. I would love to see a professional women's softball league start up one day. That would be great. That would give.
There actually is. I'm glad you mentioned there is, but there's only 4 teams. It was good until 2021, and then when COVID hit, literally everything folded for them. They brought 4 teams back. There's talks they're going to bring a professional softball league back, but they've been saying that here we are going on 4 years since that happened. So I'm glad you mentioned that though.
Because you got to think like all these women that go to play, in college. What's the next step after that?
Exactly.
If that's all you've known, like you're talking about these, like Oklahoma. I'm hitting on Oklahoma because look what Oklahoma women's team has done the last couple of years. What's after college? There's nothing there for them. They need to create something for those girls because I have a daughter that plays softball. She's really big into softball, and she's only 6 years old. I want her to play basketball or something else because there's more opportunities there down the road. I would love for her to play softball in college if that was her dream. But where does she go after that? Obviously, she would get a degree. They get degrees. I get that. But if your life is sports, after you play softball, there's nothing there for you.
Absolutely. You're right. I have, I'm a girl dad times 4. I have a 6.5, 5, 4, and a 5-month-old. My oldest, Addison, she is a softball player. She does really good. She's taken after the footsteps of my wife, who played softball her entire life. And, Addison has said she wants to play professional softball. However, she also loves basketball. Basketball is her, it runs in my bloodline very deep. And my daughter's doing really good. She's picked it up really well in basketball. And her favorite player is Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson, which Shane knows who that is very well too. She is a staple figure in the entire state of South Carolina. She is Miss South Carolina with basketball. There is a statue of her in Columbia outside of the University of South Carolina because of what she has done for them and what she's still doing. I'm going to even go any further on this, Dustin, as well. My wife works at the first school of its kind. It's a charter school for dyslexic children. The reason why it's the first of its kind is because it's a free charter school. They have schools come from all over the U.S. to learn how the school is run, how it is made, that kind of stuff. Well, Asia Wilson is actually dyslexic, and she donated a basketball court to Lakes and Bridges Charter School, specifically for them because dyslexic children don't have as much opportunities awarded to them because of their disabilities. And so, Asia Wilson, my daughter absolutely loves. My daughter will tell you she is a huge fan of Caitlin Clark. And I agree. Women's sports, they need to have more. Well, we mentioned this last season. There is going to be a professional women's baseball league. It's going to have 8 teams to start, and one of the cities is Oklahoma City. OKC is going to have one of the professional baseball teams. So we're starting to see the right direction for women's sports. You know, I'm not just saying it because I'm an all-girl dad. I'm saying it because women's sports. And I want to ask you this too, Dustin. Do you think women's sports are sometimes more entertaining than men's sports?
I think they can be. Like, my wife played college volleyball. So like we'll sit there every now and again and we'll watch volleyball, and I love watching it. Just because it's a different sport. I would love to see a women's volleyball league one day. Again, it's kind of like softball. After college, what do? You don't, if that's your life, there's nothing left. There's no next level for that, you know.
As you have a little visitor running in the back there.
that's my son. And so it's just one of those things where I like watching all sports. But women's sports, they can be more entertaining, especially, you know, some of those sports, you know, like WNBA, it's kind of like, not like in a dead part of this year, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just different. I like watching it. I would love to go to a game. You know, I like taking my daughter to watch volleyball games and softball games, you know, just because, I mean, I coached softball with her this past year, which I've never done. So kind of get to do that was really fun doing that. I like watching women's sports. They can be more entertaining. It also depends on what's on. If there's a terrible football game on that ends up being 6-3, I'm glad I watched the girls' game because that was a boring game to watch anyways. So
that was totally a stab at you, by the way, Chicago.
I like those games, but they can, depending on who's playing, they're boring.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so go ahead, Shane. I want to hear your thoughts on this too. Are women's sports becoming a staple figure now, or is it not just yet?
Man, I think women's sports have trended in the right direction. We've seen the transformation, especially in the WNBA, but it's also given, you know, we've seen volleyball as you mentioned, Nebraska held 75,000 to watch a volleyball.
110,000.
110. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Well, I missed that by a long shot. But I mean, this was the largest, you know, volleyball game held. And if I'm not mistaken, women's, you know, sporting event, not only college but professional as well. So, you know, it's trending in the right direction. I have some of these spearheads that we've seen in WNBA, like Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese, you know, is very outspoken. So, you know, we get a lot of it. Asia Wilson, what she's done with the community. And that's kind of what she learned there with South Carolina and Dawn Staley. You know, they do a lot of community outreach and stuff like that. It's, you know, you see a lot of these programs that are staying on top lately. There's a lot of NIL money and stuff like that. So you see a lot of professional type programs, and you know, you see them transition into the pros that we see, you know, from Saban-led Alabama players and all going into the league, which eventually we'll see Belichick-led players going into the league. But Dawn Staley, who came from the league, has positioned a lot of her top recruits and her best players, you know, to do the right thing, which, you know, there's always 3 golden rules in life, you know, always do your best, always do what's right, and treat other people the way you want to be treated. And, you know, I think that's kind of where you got the professionalism at, and we see it blossoming, and, you know, it's gained a lot of momentum, which, hey, I'd watch a competitive game of Tiddlywinks if nothing else was on TV, you know. so any kind of sports is great for me, man. And, you know, kind of ride the coattails, man. College softball, especially getting into Omaha and all, or wherever they play. I'm sorry if it's not Omaha, but
Oklahoma.
But I mean, it's one of the most exciting things when you see them get down into the regionals and super regionals. Like, I would much rather watch the volleyball side than the baseball side when you get that, because it just seems like they get it right on the volleyball side. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Volleyball and softball and women's is really fun to watch. It really is.
I love it. I love it. It's competitive. It's fast paced, and it's it's one of those things where, hey, you sit down, if nothing else is on, hey, get after it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right. So, what about you, Hank? Do you feel that women's sports is here to stay? They're finally getting the recognition that they deserve, or not quite yet? Oh, you can't hear us. Can you hear us, Hank? Is he free? I think he's frozen. All right, we'll go to you. Let's go to you, Matt, and ask you the question. Okay, is women's sports here to stay, or what?
I think with now the age of social media and how everything is just kind of you can easily view a highlight. I think certain women's sports are here to stay. For example, tennis has always been here. Tennis has always been there. With the Williams sisters, and now with the new stars they have coming up. These sports like that, and major sports that are here to stay. Basketball is definitely here to stay now with the addition of Caitlin Clark now. Angel Reese, and now you got if you look at the women's college game with Juju Watkins and all these crazy 5-star freshmen coming in that are really good. I think the WNBA will be in good hands, for the future. But, like Dustin alluded to, man, I mean, there's just not a lot of women's sports out there, man. So the few that are there, they're getting all the attention, so to speak. So, I think the sports that are here now are going to be here for a long time. But I think it's going to be really hard for a new sport to come in and kind of dominate.
What do you think, Hank? Do you think women's sports are like a staple now? Are they like they're here to stay? They're only going to get better, or not quite yet?
No, and I think Karma just got me for previous before I even got on with the technical difficulties. Because I don't know. I mean, I think it's very selective about which sports are going to dominate. I mean, let's face it. I mean, probably the most famous tennis player of all time is Serena Williams. Venus right behind her. It's a very woman dominated sports now over the past 20 years or so. So that's fair. Soccer, I watch soccer, not consistently, but enough to kind of at least follow and halfway understand what's going on. That's starting to developing a following. Then they've got all kinds of like great stars and stuff like that. And if you look at their Instagram accounts, excellent amount. The only ones in basketball, are Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I mean, everybody talks about Candace Parker but who here, raise your hand if you've watched Candace Parker when she played in the WNBA? No, you did not. Did you really?
Yep. My stepdad is a University of Tennessee alumni.
Okay.
Huge UT fan. So every time Candace Parker would play, even when she played for the Chicago Sky, I would watch her.
I get what Hank's saying though, because Candace Parker was super popular when she was in Tennessee.
So was Maya Moore.
Yeah, when she got to the WNBA, all that hype you just stopped hearing about her.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do think women like WNBA wise, outside of Caitlin Clark, probably Asia Wilson and Angel Reese, they are more famous when they play in college.
Yes,
I do agree with that.
Yeah, and it's
like what you're saying on that.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not trying to be sexist or chauvinistic or misogynistic in any way. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's just two different animals. There's a difference between following a sport where you can follow these women for maybe 2 or 3 seasons, and then their career is done, and you remember the glory days of people like Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or even Candace Parker, a few others like that. But in the pro sports, I think and I reserve the right to change my mind. Okay, Kelsey Plum, because she's attractive. Okay, I see Derek Sasser saying Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelsey Plum can get it. Okay, I don't care what anybody says.
Cameron Brink.
She can get there.
Cameron Brink, yes, you just said that right there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she can get it. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm not saying that there's. I'm just saying that I reserve the right to change my mind, and I love to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong about this, but I think right now we're watching the 15 minutes, and until the sport evolves with more stars, because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese can't do it forever. They can't do it forever, and it's only been one season. I give it 3 seasons, and the only reason why they'll be talked about is because of what they did their previous accolades, unless they start winning championships, of course.
Tell everybody the 3 names you mentioned already that are still yet to come out for the WNBA.
Oh, well, you got Paige Beckers, who's going to probably be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. You got Juju Watkins, who's going to be the number 1 pick in her draft.
Right.
You got you still got a lot of mega stars in college, but again, we'll see what happens and how it translates. In a new age of social media, can they sustain that level of success?
Right.
It's just going to be
and to be fair, my point about Candace Parker too. Nobody really watched Candace Parker in the pros and stuff like that, and most people didn't even know her until she became a sports analyst and was in the movie Uncle Drew. So, I mean. It's just, I want to be wrong. Don't get me wrong, because whoever made the comment, hey, Kelsey Plum, I could look at her fine ass all day. I'm telling you.
Derek is actually Dustin's partner.
That's my partner.
Show.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, that's his partner on his show. And look, someone said, "What's up, Hank?" Oh yeah. So, you're right though. You absolutely are. And look, here's another. Derek just mentioned other names: Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Elena Deladon, Diana Taurasi. But you mentioned older names that are on there, and they had their level. They had their those names. They peaked, right? And then now you have new. They call it old money, new money. Now you have new money with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. I mean, and then Matt just mentioned 3 other names that are going to come up on there as well. We're not done yet with seeing the new money, and you guys just hit the nail on the head though. Hank, I love what you said. 3 years, give it 3 years. I'm right there with you, agreeing. I agree 100%. Give it 3 years, and if you give it 3 years and you have continued that level of success that you have garnished for the year 2024. So by 2027-28 season, if we're seeing that level of success or even better, would it be fair to say that, women's sports is finally here to stay?
Absolutely. 100%.
I like that. I really do like it. So what I want everybody to do, the people that are watching right now, bookmark it right now. The Sportz Nutz just said, give it 3 years, which means the 2027-28 season. If we have seen the continued success that we have seen for the year 2024, women's sports is here to stay. All right, so look, Shane has to hop off because he has family obligations. He does have a house full, and I mean, folks, it's literally a house full. He has 15 or so people there. So
well, not really.
He completely forgot us,
Not really a house full yet, but hey, I'm cooking a good bit, so I got to get to it and get everybody fed. So hey, I'm watching this Tech game. It seems back and forth right now. Hopefully we pull it out, man. I'm so excited for this next season going on, man. So excited. Hey, we've got a great guest on with us tonight. Only more to come. But hey, I hate it, but I gotta go. Hey, these ribs are on a timer, and I gotta get them right.
Hey, I know all about those ribs. I just cooked some for my family Christmas. So hey, it takes time.
Yeah, well, hey, baby Brandon, I've sent pictures to the whole gang, so
Wait, where's that flag you had again, Shane? Throw the flag on you, please, because you didn't give us any of the good food.
Hey, I told you we're in the mountains of North Carolina, so hey, there's more here than so. Come on.
All right, guys. So before Shane goes, Shane, what do you tell the lovely people?
Oh,
as
man.
always?
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to the season. But as always, hey, peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace and grease indeed. Shane, we will talk to you soon, man, and go have some fun and go Hokies.
Oh, yeah. Go Hokies.
All right. So look, guys, now that obviously Shane has stepped out of LSC, Trey Davis and hopefully Virginia Tech ends the year with a victory because they're starting next year with a loss. Trey, would you please elaborate that a little more, because we'd like to dive into that. So Dustin, before we let you go, because I know obviously I see you have little ones running around and everything.
I'm good. That's just one. My
Okay,
other
good.
one's gone. No, I'm good. I can stay as long as y'all have me, or as long as y'all want me.
And by the way, I got to share this picture. This was what Dustin just sent me. Can anybody please tell us where the flag is? Because that's really yummy. And he, again, excluded us from having the yummy looking food.
Oh, man, that looks delicious. I mean, about as delicious as Kelsey Plum. But, is she do you really know her? Do you really know Kelsey Plum?
Who, me? No, I don't know her. No, I don't know her. I know Derek. Derek's my
Derek is yeah.
No, I don't know.
He said he's been following Paige Beckers since she was in high school. And Derek also said Kelsey Plum. Oh, yeah. And then he mentioned, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Elena Deladon, Diana Trossi. Derek, you're a sportsman, and I love it, dude. Keep it coming, brother.
No,
Yeah,
Derek,
he really does.
Them ain't overcooked, I promise you.
All right, so before we go any further, I want everybody watching. There's 59 people watching right now. Go check out my boy Chase, his brother Philip, my cousin Cody, their main man Robert, Dirty Fanatics United. They have the absolute best Falcons content alive. Check them out today. Dirty Fanatics United. Chase, if you can, please tell everybody when. I know, just mark in the comments. Let everybody know when your next episode is so they can go fill it in. But check them out. Dirty Fanatics United. All right, so this person has been going back forth with you here, Hank. So he is saying, let me have damn ribs. Dude, those ribs, my God. Like, look, I promise you, we're not really drooling too much, but we are drooling because they look really good.
Yeah, and that's my man Johnny, man. He's from the Orlando area and stuff like that. Real smart guy. And, I don't know how much he knows about sports, but, man, I appreciate you coming in, Johnny. That means a lot. So
this is obviously a stab at you, Dustin, over.
Oh, yeah. Derek's always stabbing at me. He likes stabbing me. He thinks those overcooked, baby. You don't know what a good rib is.
All right, so I'm gonna go. Let's talk a little bit about college basketball. Okay, look, college basketball season. It's just not getting, and everybody knows. Dustin, I hope you know this too. It's in the sports world. We're about to hit the dead zone. It's an actual known fact. It's called the dead zone. Why is it called the dead zone? You don't have any major sport happening from the mid to end January up until March. And that's true because then baseball kicks in and then all this other stuff. And then Johnny just said, oh, love sports. Got you, brother. See, Johnny, go on our page right now at the Sportz Nutz 176 on YouTube. Subscribe. And quickly, Dustin, tell him where he can go find Tired Sports Network, please.
Yeah, so you can go find Tired Sports. Tired Sports. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, X. I mean, you name it. We're everywhere. Spotify. We're everywhere, man. Just go check us out, man. They have the Brandon has a thing he can put up there. You can scan the QR code, and all of our links are right there. You just go, if you scan that, you can follow us there and check out our show. Our next show will be Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, just check us out. Again, we're having a guest on, a coach. I believe he coaches at it's either Southern or Northern Alabama. He's the offensive line coach there. He actually went to my high school. So I'm excited about that.
He just said he will be checking it out. So yeah, let's
sure,
get
man.
it. Hey, you know what, Trey? You just hit it. Yeah, I'm so thankful. See, Trey, I love that you did this, and I want to ask you guys real quick. UFL is expanding. One has been mentioned as Seattle. Where do you think the other team will be? I'm going to ask you, Dustin. Where do you think it'll be first?
Well, I would love to see another team in Texas, but I believe Houston has one. Actually,
The Roughneckers.
Kind of speaking on that, the kid. Well, he's not a kid. He's a young man on my show, Trey Fulton. He was actually on the Houston team, and he actually just got picked up by the Saints about a week ago. Who would be me? Man, I keep going to this, but man, I'm telling you, there's just the Vegas market is such a big market. Why not throw another team there? I mean, no offense, the Raiders aren't doing it, so.
So Hank is he's in Memphis, and Hank, you have the Memphis. What do they call them? What's the UFL name again?
We got the Showboats.
Showboats. That's what it is. Yeah, they got the Showboats. Why not get a team in that? Look, you just hit the nail on the head too. Vegas and Nashville.
I agree.
That's legit the places to go.
Nashville, like the thing I love about the Nashville is when you hear Nashville, what do you think of? You think of country music, right? I mean, you do. You think of country. Nashville needs like something else besides just that. I mean,
the Titans aren't doing it anytime soon.
I mean, I mean, you have the Titans, but again, I mean, they're not doing it either. So
the Predators made the finals like what? The Stanley Cup finals like what 4 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I don't know, like these. I mean, I think Nashville will be another great city. I mean, but I kind of think of another city that doesn't have anything but one that's a big major city. That city needs something. They need something, whether it's the UFL or baseball expansion. I mean, I can't think of a city off the top of my head, but like another big city. I mean, like I think of Texas, the big three cities. You have Austin, Dallas, Houston. They have something in that city. The Titans are you know what? I say that. I mean, Austin would be a good place to have a professional team. They have the Longhorns, and that's what they have.
Hey, why not Orlando? I mean, why not Jacksonville, Florida? These are all. I mean, Florida doesn't have enough football teams, even though they've got 3 teams. I mean, Florida's a big state.
It is. It's massive. And that's Texas. Like even Texas, where else I would love to see a really West Texas. I know it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there but dirt and trees but there's nothing in West Texas either. And El Paso's a big area.
I've been to Van Horn, Texas before, and it's a very small, nice little town. But they're
really small, and like El Paso, they have like UTEP. They have UTEP University, which is actually a beautiful university. The stadium is up in the mountains. It's awesome looking, but there's nothing professional there. And Texas is massive too. It's kind of in the point to where people keep talking expansion, but I feel like they're not really expanding to an area that there's nothing in. They're just expanding with what we've already have, if that makes sense.
That's right. I agree 100% what you just said there. They're only going with what has always been. It's never what could be. I mean,
yeah.
What? Look at the Connecticut Sun. There's nothing in Connecticut. There's absolutely nothing. But you have the Connecticut Sun, the WNBA, and it sells out every game.
Yeah, and like
you need that,
And Johnny said Orlando. Like Orlando, all they have is the Magic. That's it.
And they've been to the playoff, and they've been to the finals twice in the last 30 years, or twice. Yeah, twice in the last.
The Orlando City MLS team they have, but that's it. Yeah, but I'm not.
So I'm saying like there's. I want them to, when we're talking about expansion, I want them to think of the unknown, like a big unknown is what I'm saying. You don't want to go to a little bitty town where it's not going to attract a lot, but give people that have nothing something excited about. I guess that's what I would say.
I like it. So you know what though? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it to our fans. Look, we have so many comments. We're at over 30 comments right now, and I had to delete a few of them because they were inappropriate. Yes, but we're at basically 25 right now. We're gonna leave it to all the fans. Comment. You can do it now. You can do it after the show. Whatever. We will read them, and let us know where you think the UFL should expand. Mine, obviously, I'm going to be biased because I'm from the best sports city that's ever known to man. Matt lives there too, the Atlanta metropolitan area. Look, we had the Atlanta Legends. Obviously, the All-American League, it failed. miserably. Michael Vick was the head coach there. He's now the head coach at Norfolk State. Let's go, Vic, get on there. But you know what, though? Put one in Atlanta. Let Atlanta have a UFL team. So what we are tasking everyone, there are 62 people watching right now, what we're asking you guys to do, and you can do it on Dustin's page too, and I'll put up their page. Message them. They will interact with you. I promise you they really do. Dustin and Derek, they're phenomenal. But you tell us where the next UFL franchise should be. And if we like it enough, we will feature it. And the Sportz Nutz, you will get entered for a $40 gas gift card. Because nobody won the last one because nobody was subscribed. So now here's your chance to win a $40 gas gift card. Comment right now. And if we choose the absolute best place, that gift card is. It's not a cheesy gift card. It's an actual gas gift card. We promise you. All right, so let's go into another topic here. Again, we're talking about college basketball. All right, so women's basketball is doing phenomenal. Matt, your girls, the Lady Jackets, they're doing phenomenal. They're number 13 of the nation. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Clemson women just had a major upset, guys. They upset the Lady Golden Bears. They just upset them as one of the biggest wins in Clemson's history. Continued success for that one. Coach Vince, what's going on, brother? All right, and then real quickly, my cousin lives in Altus, Oklahoma, because he's in the Air Force. I think they support it. So yeah, he's talking about. Derek said Oklahoma City needs a football and a baseball team. Yes, they do. You absolutely right. They really do, because OKC, all they have is the Supersonics. That's literally all they have. And I'm not calling them Thunder. I'm calling them Supersonics because that's what they were. End of discussion. But all right, so let's talk about the men's team right here. Okay, Matt. So. You know, we're big supporters of the Furman Paladins. Coach Bob Ritchie was on our show last season, just before Christmas, and you know, we all went around the table and we gave our predictions, and so far it is 100% accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know what we're talking about, check out SoCon play, Southern Conference play. It is Furman, Western Carolina, East Tennessee State, Samford, which is based in Birmingham, Alabama. You have Wofford on there, which is a team in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So you have a solid foundation of play. And Furman went 12-1 in non-conference play. They started conference play. They ended non-conference play against Harvard at Harvard. They beat them. And then they go and they handle their business against Western Carolina. They beat them by 32 points. I'm going to ask you this first, Matt. Could Furman really see? And I want you to look. You know, I've told you year in and year out, it's always between Furman, Samford, and Eastern Tennessee State. Chattanooga's pretty good, but not as good as they once were. All right, so could Furman actually run the SoCon, and could we see a one-loss Furman team get into the dance?
Well, you got to understand, man, but basketball is different than a lot of sports, man. I mean, on basketball, you know, one team can just get hot and you know, everything is just falling for them. I don't think that Furman's going to. I mean, it's a tough thing to run the table. It's a tough thing to kind of go undefeated in conference play because you know these teams know you so well. I think they'll have a couple of slip ups. They'll have a couple more losses added to their record, but I do think they may pull it off and be the number one seed. Or be the number one seed going into their tournament when it comes to the tournament play. It's just the fact of can they kind of sustain it and weather the storm with these other teams gunning for them, so they can have a punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They just got to stay disciplined. If they stay disciplined and do what they need to do, I think they'll be okay.
You know what? I agree with you, Dustin. All right, so I know you're probably not too familiar with SoCon play. So you got Furman, Samford, East Tennessee State, Mercer, which is based out of Macon, Georgia. You got UNC Greensboro. You got Chattanooga, Virginia Military Institute, Wofford, the Citadel, and Western Carolina. So that's it. And it's usually 3, sometimes 4 that kind of go back and forth on the SoCon. You got Furman, Samford, Eastern Tennessee State, and Chattanooga. Those usually are those are the 4 teams that always run though at SoCon. Furman, like I said, is 13-1. Sanford has started to separate themselves from everybody else. They're 11-3. That's going to be a really big matchup when Furman takes on Sanford. And I know you don't know much about that, but I'm going to ask you if you the conference that you like to follow the most in college basketball. Who do you think in that conference that you watch could run the table? Excuse me, they could run the table.
Well, so I'm a big Texas Longhorn fan, so I'm gonna have to go with the SEC. The SEC is insanely competitive, and not just in football. Well, I say that they weren't the best in the playoffs / bowl games, but they're actually really competitive. You got Tennessee 12-0, Florida 13-0. You got Auburn 11-1. I mean, you can go down and they're all really good. Tennessee and Florida look really good. Texas A&M looks really good. I mean, really, the entire conference looks really good. Now, granted, conference play is coming up. I do think Florida and Tennessee will drop a game in the conference because I do think it is that competitive. But Tennessee looks really good right now. And Florida's kind of came back. They've had a couple down years in Florida, but they are currently, and again, I don't know if they've played, since it's been updated, but they are undefeated as of now too. My Longhorns are not in the top 25. They've kind of slipped a little bit, but Mississippi State is 11-1. I mean, there's so many SEC teams that are so good this year. I think it's hard to say that one team will run it because I think they're all that competitive. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Tennessee or Florida to kind of run the table in the SEC. But again, A&M is really looking impressive too. And they're 11-2 this year. Oklahoma's 13-0 as well. I mean, I was saying the SEC basketball world is really competitive with conference play coming up. I think you could say it's wide open. I really think you can.
I like that. And I got to ask you real quick, and then I'm going to ask Hank. Excuse me. We saw what Lamont Paris did last year for South Carolina. This year, they're 10-3. They're not exactly like lighting the scoreboard up, being like the sexy darlings that they were last year, because they were kind of essentially the Cinderellas because they were predicted to be dead last, and they weren't a dead last in their conference play. Do you think South Carolina can still now everybody know, and now it's a year under the belt, everybody knows what to expect with South Carolina and Lamont Paris' style of play? Do you think they could still legit have a chance to get into the tournament?
I mean, I do. Because I'm sitting here looking at the SEC standings. Just everybody. I mean, it's any of these teams could win anything. I mean, I do. Like that team is the worst in that conference. The entire 10-3 is the worst record in that entire conference. That'll tell you how competitive it is. That's the worst team at 10-3. I mean, it's so competitive. Like I when I think basketball and like conferences, like Big 12 is usually really good. Obviously, it's changed with the realignment and how some teams moved around. But if you look at this SEC, just the records as they stand now, and again, I don't know when this last was updated, but if your worst record team is 10-3, I think it's wide open.
For you.
I mean, you have a lot going for it. Any team, South Carolina could win it just as well as the Vanderbilt's 12-1.
Yeah, that's crazy to think.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this conference is really competitive right now, and I think that any of these teams could go on a run at any point in given time, whether it's in conference play. I expect to see a lot of these teams in the tournament, a lot of SEC teams in the tournament this year. And I don't know what the record is with how many teams out of one conference has been in the tournament, but I could see records being set of just the amount of teams coming from a conference just because, and this is just the SEC. It's super competitive. College basketball this year, how competitive it's been so far, it's reminding me of the football season. It's one of the best seasons we've had in college football in a while, or it was going that way, I think. I don't think it's panned out in the playoffs as a lot of people have expected, but I think it's going to be one of the greatest college basketball seasons in a while because UConn kind of ran it the last 2 years, and they're not even in the top 25 this year. So we're going to have I think we're going to have another team on top this year in college basketball.
What do you think, Hank? What do you think? I want to know what you think about basketball with college basketball.
I mean, I'm kind of like Dustin. I'm surprised at how well the SEC is doing in college basketball. That's not their strong suit as far as college sports goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very even keeled out, and it's one of the reasons why basketball is my favorite sport. You know, it's particularly in the college. You know, it's a very unbiased league. That being said, I mean, you still gotta like the SEC teams that have always done well. It's always been in like smaller sprouts and stuff like that. Usually, like you'll get like South Carolina had a good year when they went to the Final Four that one year a few years ago, and then, but I don't see all right. I see them making playoff, or I see them making like tournament runs, but I don't see any one of those SEC teams making it past the Sweet 16. I really don't. I think it's going to be your classics, your UConns, and your Kentuckys, your Arkansas, Kansas, Gonzaga, you name the list. Anybody who is, I mean, anybody who has had the tradition, which is not biased, it's just kind of how they've had the stroke of the luck these past few years. I definitely see it being no different.
And you hit the nail on the head. And look, Matt's going to tell you the same thing. I'm excited. I love when college basketball gets in the thick of like conference play, whatever conference. And look, Dustin, about me, I'm a big University of Hawaii. That's me, right? I'm Hawaii everything. So obviously, right now, Hawaii is currently in the Big West. I think it's going to be between Hawaii and it's going to be between UC Davis. And I really want to quickly let everybody know because I know people. I have a lot of people. We have a lot of people who watch in the state of Hawaii. Ku'ule Abanyani, she is going to be coming on our show sometime in February. She's going to talk about from the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. She's going to talk about the UH men's basketball and women's basketball, what the move going to the Mountain West Conference as a full-time member could do for the men's and women's basketball programs, as well as the football program. Stay tuned for that. I want to give a quick shout out to that one there. So, I'm going to go to you, Matt, and then we're going to go to the next topic. Who do you think is going to run the table in the ACC? Because I know you're an ACC guy. Who runs the table this year in the ACC?
Well, first of all, I heard you guys talking to. You got to give respect to the SEC right now, and
yeah, you do.
Because every team, there's no team in the SEC with more than 3 losses right now or something like that.
Yeah,
the worst team is South Carolina, 10-3.
10-3 is the worst team.
That's I've never seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
First off, let me give them that respect. Respect is due. When conference play comes in, of course, they'll start separating the good ones. Start separating themselves from the pack, of course, man. But also, man, the ACC is doing pretty good as well because now, don't get me wrong, with the SEC, they're good, but they haven't really been playing the best competition.
I agree.
I do
agree with that.
Now, the ACC, they have been playing good competition. They've already been playing in the conference already in the ACC. I think Duke and
Duke's
Clemson,
number 1 and Clemson are both tied at 3-0.
Yeah, and Duke has the number 1 pick in this upcoming draft on their team. Mr. Do Everything, Cooper Flag,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be the first pick in the draft. So it's tough, man. And thinking about basketball, it's like if you don't play good competition, when you finally play against good competition, your team is going to be like a culture shock to your team. So you have to be careful with that, man. I think getting into the tournament, we will see. At the end of the day, I think we will see more ACC teams in the tournament, just because the strength of schedule and the teams that they beat, the teams that they've lost to, they're going to hold more weight than those SEC teams. But again, nothing to take away from the SEC. They're having great seasons so far, and this college basketball season is pretty good. It's pretty good, man. And Brandon, how dare you talk about college basketball and not talk about the fact that Bryce James committed to Arizona, man?
Oh God, here we go. The bleep show continues for the LeBron James family. If it was Rondell Walker, I would say who cares? But Matt would say he's got potential. Look, all right, regardless of Bryce James is 300,000 times better than Bronny James.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Actually, hey man, let's not
Way better.
act like Bronny James hasn't been getting his confidence back and going off in the G League, man. He's been having some really
glorified college league.
Call it what you want. It's against competition.
It's the island of It's the island of misfits toys, is what the G League is. Just ask the Detroit Pistons. That's all they really draft is the G League players, and they're still the bottom feeders. So I'm not gonna.
Shout out to the unfortunate injury to Jaden Ivey.
I do want to say something about Bronny James, if I could.
Yes.
I do think he will be better than Bronny. I think he will get drafted by his skill, not because of who his father is, and that's all I'll say.
So I'm going to give you my take on Bronny James. Matt,
but
knows
I
about
do want to say one thing about Bronny. I think that if he works hard and keeps doing what he's doing, he has a really good chance to be good in the NBA. I just think it was too early for him.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see him play another year of college.
You know what? I gotta find that flag.
That's just my opinion. Like,
it's a great opinion. It's an accurate opinion. I mean,
yeah, like
he doesn't have any skill.
No, he definitely has skill. No. I do not think he should have been drafted this year. But I do want to think that Bryce will be more ready coming in than Bronny is, because I think Bryce is really good, and I think he will be. Yeah. I think he will do well at Arizona.
Bronny James being good in the league is like what Deadpool said. It's an educated wish.
I think his time. I think his time will come. It's going to come. It's going to come. It's just going to
be a solid role player. He'll be a solid role player.
You think he's going to be like Eric Bledsoe? Come on,
he's an Eric Bledsoe type player.
Eric Bledsoe.
He's not an Eric Bledsoe type player.
He's an Eric Bledsoe type player. If you watch Eric Bledsoe, it was a combo guard, kind of the same thing. I mean, just like to get to the rack. Relied on his athleticism. I mean,
I could see Bronny James being maybe like a Tyus Jones at most.
No.
Yeah.
You know who he's gonna be like?
Oh.
The toilet bowl. Because that's all it is.
Bronny
James is a bleep show. That's what it is. It's a bleep show. Matt knows this. I have never supported him. And and the old introduction, it says, well, he had a career day. He scored 8 points. That's his career. Well, he just had another quote career moment when he scored 19 points in the glorified college league.
He dropped 30 a couple weeks ago. What are you talking about? He dropped 30.
In the glorified college league of the island.
Don't discredit the G League. Don't discredit the G League like that. The G League actually has some good players. There's good players.
I will say the G League has players, and I'm going to mention a few. If you look at who San Antonio has on their team, Champagne, G League player, phenomenal player for San Antonio. I don't care what nobody says. Nobody knows who he is, but he plays well for them. Their center, I can't think of his name because I can't pronounce it. He's number 54. The G League player, nobody knows. He plays a little bit for them when Zach Collins doesn't act like an idiot. So, with that being said, I think the G League is good, but there is a lot of collegiate type players there because they take that. Like the one that I think that was a bust was Scoot Henderson. Was not ready for the NBA.
Ooh, yeah.
Not ready for the NBA. Too. Like he was great in the G League because he was playing against collegiate players or washed up NBA players. So that
was the second pick in the draft.
That's my point. And he has not been their point guard. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Is way better than him.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head, really. And that's why I call it the glorified college league. Or the island of misfit toys.
Monte Ellis, Lou Williams. I mean, you have players that have played in that league.
Rondell Walker. But to be fair, it's he has Eric Bledsoe. No, he does not have Eric.
Bronny would be a career 8-point per game player.
Bronny would be a career 2-point player.
Solid role player.
Yeah, solid for turning the ball over.
He doesn't turn the ball over.
And I think I have
he misses like 9 out of 10 of his shots.
Not anymore. He's been hitting.
And I want
we can do this all day. Let's move on. We can do this all day.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so real quick, obviously we're coming into the end of time. I want to go over one thing, Matt. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
We've seen the story. Jimmy Butler, he said he wants to find his joy again. He's happy they're just not on the court, which, anybody can be happy in paradise because Miami is a really pretty place to be at times. Miami Heat have suspended Jimmy Butler indefinitely. They are listening to trade offers. Where does he go? Where do you think he goes?
Nowhere. Pat Riley's came out and said they are not trading Jimmy Butler. So,
but they just posted on ESPN about an hour and a half ago.
And,
the Heat have suspended Butler indefinitely, and they are going to listen to any and all trade offers. And this is coming out of the horse's mouth, Pat Riley himself.
I think this is going to be kind of like another, and just it's not the same, but not the same. It's a different sport, but it's going to be like, oh my God, what's the wide receiver? Came from the Raiders. I can't remember his name. Went from Raiders to the Jets. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Devontae Adams.
It's gonna be like Devontae Adams, man. He'll get traded to another team, and he's not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna make a difference. Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's not really a good shooter. He has heart, but and he makes when he plays, and he plays good defense. But
yeah,
that was 3 years ago, man. Isn't he like 36, 37 now?
Yeah. He's at 35. He's 35.
35?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him as being a max player right now, man. So, I mean, what are you going to get from him? You're going to have to get pennies on the dollar for him, man. You're going to have to.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Hank? Where does he go? You got dark there, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm having a lot of technical difficulty issues. But y'all can still hear me, right?
Oh, yeah.
We can hear you.
That's fine. Hey, in my world, we say live happens. But to answer your question, I mean, I guess it just depends on salary cap issues. I mean, I can see the Detroit Pistons picking him up.
Ooh, that would kind of be. I thought that would be like Pat Riley saying, haha, "No, you're not going to get a chance to win a ring ever." Someone gave you to the lonely Pistons. What do you think, Dustin? Where does Butler go?
Honestly, I was just going to say I kind of agree with Johnny. I think that Dallas might go all in because Dallas has always been, going back to last year, they actually got better defensively last year. They're not. I think he would be a great addition in Dallas for the defense part of it. Because offensively, to me, he's like just a great mid-range, close to the basket player. He's not the best three-point shooter. He is a little bit older. I mean, they brought in Clay, so you can't say he's too old because, I mean, Clay's older or about the same age. I think he'd be a great addition to the team for at least the defense side of things. I try to think of a team where he would go, but the thing I kind of don't see him going to Dallas for, though, is because Jimmy still wants to be the guy when he doesn't.
He wants to be the it factor.
And so I could see him going to a Detroit. I think because of what he's done, I could see Miami doing something like that to him because they invested a lot in him, and now he's trying to say he wants out because he doesn't enjoy playing. What he's pretty much saying without saying it, he doesn't enjoy playing with those players anymore. That's what he's really trying to say. And so he's not going to go to the team he wants to because of what has happened. But I would say Derek said OKC or Houston. I don't think OKC would take him. They're on a Houston.
OKC's
maybe
too much of a young team right now.
Houston either. But I mean, why does he want to play with the? Was it because Tyler Hero's getting more shots now? I mean,
it's still his. Technically, it's still his team. I mean, he's the guy there, even though he doesn't want to be the guy. He is the guy. The league is too competitive now to be at that age and be the guy. The only one that's kind of the guy now at a team that's kind of still okay is James Harden's still 40 years old and he's the guy and there because Kawhi Leonard just can never be healthy anymore or just doesn't play, whatever that is. Because he's the guy at the Clippers and they're actually a decent team with him. And that's because he's kind of having a year where he kind of looks like the way he was in Houston a little bit. I don't know. Jimmy Butler, he's not going to go to where he wants to. I actually think they send him to a bad team where they get a lot of draft picks from it to help build the team. So he's not going to go to where he wants to. I can tell you that.
And let's see, Derek just said they need a veteran and they could dump a ton of draft picks and keep the court. That is true. You absolutely are right.
And they could get the draft picks, but with I'm gonna say OKC. Do you want all that drama with what you're building there, probably not.
I think OKC is better without Jimmy Butler there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Houston, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, well, what's his name? The second year player. I can't remember. My God, I'm bad with names today. I know all these names, but I'm bad with names today. The Rockets player, young player, he's really good, really good offensive player. He came out, was kind of
talking about the rookie. Talking about the rookie, right?
It's his second year. It's his second year this year. He came out of Villanova.
Okay.
Gosh, I'm terrible.
Oh my God, I see it too.
I'm terrible with names today.
Folks, just a sin. We're old.
Yeah, I'm just terrible with names today.
And look what Johnny said. Wherever he goes, he's just gonna have to be. You're right, Johnny. You just hit the nail on the head. Jimmy Butler, dude. Wherever you go, hell, you may not even get your contract.
You're talking about You're talking about Cam Whitmore.
Cam Whitmore. Yes, Cam Whitmore. I can see maybe they do something there to package Cam Whitmore and Dylan Brooks to make the salaries match. Dylan Brooks and a couple other draft picks or something. That's all I can see. I don't really see anything else, man. What team could you?
But do you think Dylan Brooks is better defensively than Jimmy Butler? I do. I don't know if I'd give up Dylan Brooks or Jimmy Butler, just that one swap, because Dylan Brooks brings that tenacity to the team. He's almost like the Draymond of the team. He's decent offensively, but he will defend anybody. I think offensively Dylan Brooks is better. So I'm not saying they won't do it, but I wouldn't do that because Dylan Brooks is 28, 35.
I agree. But that's the only one that they can trade to make the salaries work. Really.
You're right though. It is.
Not Green and not trading Sengun.
Yeah, they're not. They could give away Jeff Green. He could, if they find a way. I like Jeff Green. Don't get me wrong, but
well, here's one that's been mentioned a lot. Dumb Bill, want to be Atlanta Hawks GMs have said, why not Atlanta make it possible to have him? And I said, are you absolutely joking? Are you why would you do that? Well, what they got rid of with DeJounte Murray was toxic for the organization.
Whoa.
No, because let me tell you why, Matt.
I love
DeJounte Murray and Trae Young did not work.
You're not going to do that. You're not going to sell it to DeJounte Murray's name. That man won games for us, man. That man was a baller, man. He put 100% of his heart out there.
However, it was toxic in the
it was just 2 point guards. You have 2 point guards. When you have 2 point guards in the backcourt, it's not going to work.
Yeah, but DeJounte Murray is give me the ball now, me. Trae Young was also the me.
He's not a me
yes,
first.
He was.
It was not a me first type player.
Hey, Atlanta better worry about Trae Young leaving. They better worry about that because
I don't think he leaves.
Oh,
now that he's got Zachary Ricochet and how Trae has electrified the assist world. He leads the league in assists, I think. And if Atlanta can, for the first, I think I told this to Matt recently. This is the first time I've seen Atlanta out of the playoff.
I don't know, Brandon.
What is it?
You're not getting him help.
Play-in tournament.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I don't know anything, but I'm gonna tell you this: Trae Young will be in San Antonio. Just watch. I call it right now.
Well, if there's a team that has the assets that for Trae Young, it will be San Antonio with their draft picks and then young players. Like I said, I like the young wing players that San Antonio does have. They're gonna have to go a lot for Trae now. But
they would
with Trae. If the Hawks are winning and then the playoffs and they're winning and then winning thing, I see the Hawks trading for Zion before they let Trae trade. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Zion is the biggest injury-prone player imaginable.
I'm comparing the two. I say before the Hawks trade Trae, I see them getting Zion before they trade Trae, which is I don't see them doing either. Trae's gonna have to really be like double down and like I'm not playing, I'm not coming, you trade me, which I don't think he's gonna do. But in retrospect,
Andrew Fields does not make the boneheaded trades either.
They do need to get him some help. They do need to get another all-star. Well, we have another all-star potentially with Jalen Johnson, but they do need to get Jalen Johnson is a 20-10 player right now, so I can't say get him a 20-10 player. They have one with Jalen Johnson, but we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. It depends. I really think it depends how far the Hawks go this year. If they're a playing team, I can see Trae asking for a trade. But if they're not a playing team and they advance in the playoffs, I can see Trae sticking with it.
You know what I think, Matt?
Who?
I think you need to get Tim Duncan 2.0 and Rudy Gobert.
Hold on, who's Tim Duncan 2.0?
No, Matt, tell him who I said. Rudy Gobert. And who was the other person?
We had
Hold on. Oh, this is actually what I want to bring up. I saw this. You reminded me. Okay.
You see what I got to deal with? You see what I got to deal with?
So
You see what I
listen
got to
here.
deal with?
I am the biggest Spurs fan you will find. I'm telling you right now. I don't have it tatted on my arm.
wow.
For
Oh,
no
damn, you
reason.
really do.
Okay. I have another one on my leg. I have Tim Duncan. My wall is covered in nothing but Spurs. I've been a Spurs fan for 10 years old.
Big fundamental.
Okay. Rudy Gobert is nowhere near Tim Duncan. That's a fact.
He said
Now,
David Robinson. He said David Robinson, by the way.
David Robinson was Rudy Gobert.
No.
And who was the other one? Oh,
You
Carl
said
Anthony
that was
Towns
Duncan.
was Tim Duncan. Yes.
No.
I'm
No,
saying about it.
no.
In
Not
your
even
words,
close.
yes,
Blasphemous statements. Blasphemous statements.
I know why people would say that is because Tim Duncan is the most underrated player to ever play the game of basketball. It's because he wasn't flashy. Tim Duncan is the best power forward to ever play. I don't care what nobody says.
Ever play. I agree with you. I agree.
Wait. You said Kevin Garnett was the best forward.
I said Kevin Garnett was the most physically gifted power forward of all time. Kevin Garnett was blessed with, he was wiry strength. He can jump, he can shoot, he had touch. But Kevin Garnett himself would tell you that Tim Duncan was better than him. So
yeah, Tim Duncan's is phenomenal. I mean, I'm telling you, when it comes to San Antonio, I know a lot. I watched a lot of San Antonio ball. But Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns has the potential to be somewhat like, but Rudy Gobert reminds me. He reminds me of the closest I see him being as a Blake Griffin. He can rebound and he can go for dunks, and that's amazing. I'm giving him that because that's as far as I'm going with it, and that's the most.
He'll never be what Blake could do offensively, as far as Blake being able to shoot with his Pistons years and stuff like that. With Rudy Gobert, I look at it as like a Clint Capella type player. I mean, they're the same mold. They're not going to shoot anything outside of the paint.
I feel like Gobert is better than Clint.
Putbacks and dump balls. That's their offensive.
I guess the question I have is what makes the comparison like even Cat? Because I think Cat's better than Gobert. Yes. I mean, because offensively, definitely, defensively, he may not be as good because Gobert is a defensive player. He's not an offensive-minded guy. I mean, obviously, he's won multiple Defensive Player of the Year's awards. He's rebounds, I can say. But what's the Cat comparison? I mean, I'm not really seeing it because Cat's great and he's young, but he plays outside too much. Tim Duncan when you talk about dominating, like outside of Shaq, Kareem, Tim Duncan was like the last of that kind in a way. He really was. He was at the end of his career. He was the last of that paint area guy that was dominant. I mean, and what he did in San Antonio it's always underrated. San Antonio is because it's not a flashy city. They don't do a lot of flashy things, but Tim Duncan's super underrated. People will say he's not even a top 10 player, which is insane. That's crazy to even say that. They had a sixth man that could have started anywhere in the league, and Manu Ginobili. He played his role because they were winning championships. I mean, that we don't get that in the NBA anymore. Everybody wants to get paid and they want to start. When you find a team that wants to do the San Antonio way, you'll win again. And I mean that. I'm serious. That organization is a phenomenal organization. Pop is still there. R.C. Buford's still there. And I'm telling you right now, Wemby will stay. Wemby will not go nowhere. Chris Paul is a great addition to that team. He's the veteran they needed. I thought he should have went there instead of going to Phoenix when he did, because he has blossomed that offense. Yeah, they're 17-16, but they're still one of the youngest teams in the league competing. They stopped the Clippers the other night. They dominated the Clippers the other night. They're an upcoming team. Somebody will come to San Antonio here in the next future, and I had it being LaMelo Ball or Trae Young coming. They need a point. Once they get a point guard, that team will be a different animal. They're missing a true.
It's not Ball though.
I agree, but I think they're going to end up more than likely drafting that point guard. I don't think I will sign there.
And you know what though? That's the way they do it.
Yeah,
that's the way they draft. I'm wanting them to get out of that. They remind me of Dallas Cowboys. They don't go and get nobody. All they do is draft. It's 2025. It's time that we.
Yeah, and I think through the NBA, I think now the talent in the NBA is as high as that it's been.
Ever been. Oh, I agree.
Honestly, I think you need more. I think there needs to be expansion. I think you need to bring in 4 more teams. I just think you have to, because now you have all these log jams everywhere. Even on the Spurs, you guys have log jams with Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, which I like both. I love Devin Vassell, by the way.
I'm telling you right now, Kevin Johnson. Oh, let me tell you another player that left that should have never left. Lonnie Walker. He plays for. He's not even. No one knows who Lonnie Walker is anymore because he left chasing the money. Went to the Lakers. I don't even know if he's on a team. And if he is, he's not playing.
I think he was somewhere overseas or something right now.
He was a phenomenal player. Yeah, Keldon Johnson's going to happen to him. He's going to leave chasing the money. I agree. They need to expand because you have all these great players that are going overseas to play because the league is getting too populated.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Spurs, I mean, again, the Spurs, they got to have some of the best lottery luck of all time. Granted,
they do. They do.
Duncan was because David Robinson was hurt for the year. Granted, I give him that. And then they had Tim Duncan, and they didn't need to draft in the lottery anymore, man. And then they get Kawhi when they do draft. Kawhi was the 15th pick. He wasn't even lottery. He was the 15th pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean,
in the lottery, but he turned into one of those players.
He's the best player in the draft. Yes, absolutely. Him and Paul George in that draft.
I was so disappointed in that.
Yeah,
he was supposed to. He was about to be the next guy in the league, let alone San Antonio.
Yeah,
and that ending was terrible. It was going to be his team, and I just don't think he was ready. I think that's what happened. He wanted to go to somewhere where he knew he could win instantly. He didn't want to go through that rebuild process because it was going to happen. Tim Duncan left, Manu left the year next, and then Parker stayed a few years and went to Charlotte, played a year, then he left. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been rough the last 10 years since they won. Hey, we're coming though. Give us some time. We're coming. Wimmy's phenomenal.
Real quickly, want to talk about a couple stories real quick, and then we're going to hop off here. Baltimore Orioles, they're back in the news for the strangest way. The Atlanta Braves did not re-sign Uncle Charlie Morton. Thank God for that. However, the Orioles signed a 1-year, $15 million deal to Charlie Morton. What do you think, Matt? Was that a stupid move by Baltimore, or was that a great move by Baltimore?
I think it was a move that they thought was best for their team. He'll bring some veteran leadership, and he will, if anything, I think they did that more for a teaching standpoint for him to kind of, put the younger guys under his wing and kind of just teach them a little bit. Kind of like, how other teams and other leagues do. They bring a veteran in just to kind of give guidance and wisdom.
Groom them.
Players, yeah, pretty much. So I think like that's what that move was. I don't think they're gonna rely on him to win them any games. So
no,
we'll see what that goes.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I actually agree. He's the he's playing the Joe Flacco role. That's what he's doing.
All right, so what we're talking about right now is Charlie Morton has signed a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Baltimore Orioles. Was that a dumb move or a good move? You might not hear us. Can you hear us? No, we'll come back to him. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at this. Look what Flacco's done, and every team he's been on. Look what he did last year for the Browns. He was a great mentor, and then when he needed to play, he was great. I really want to see Flacco go to a team that's going to get a young, upcoming quarterback. But I think Flacco's a great teacher, and that's exactly what this reminds me of. To come in, be a mentor, not play if needed, and then just try to flourish these young men into becoming great players, because you need that in sports. We need that in sports more than ever. If you look at all these cocky, confident players that aren't the best, they think they're great, they're not that great. They need those veteran guys to be like, listen, sit down, learn, get better, play the game, and stop talking all the time. And Joe Flacco's a great mentor, and I think that's what he's going to do for those pitchers over there.
I like that. All right, so now we're going to jump to the NFL. Week 18 is here. It's the final week of the regular season. Matt.
Awesome.
Matt. So let me ask you a question. Do you guys have an extra 6 timeouts in your pocket? Because Raheem Morris needs those. Yeah, because he apparently he thought he was going to be able to cash in his timeouts for points. I mean, call the daggone timeout.
He's a rookie.
How hard
coach.
is that?
He has to learn too.
He is not a rookie coach. He coached at the Buccaneers. He was crappy. He was the interim coach for Atlanta. He was crappy. He is the head coach of Atlanta again. He is crappy. He was the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. And the only reason why they won was not him. I can promise you that. Atlanta, and this hurts me more than anything I have ever had to say, has to hope and pray and cheer on the stupid New Orleans Saints to beat the Buccaneers.
I'm sorry, what?
Atlanta has to beat the Panthers, and they have to hope and pray that the New Orleans Saints beats the Buccaneers.
I would never.
In other words, Atlanta, your season is done. Most epic collapse. You were 6-3. You were the number 3 seed going into the postseason at the time. You have flushed down the toilet. You suck. Raheem Morris, Jimmy Lake, Zach Robinson. I'm giving you your, you know what, here, and for all time's sake, this is a pink slip. You're all fired. Get out of Atlanta. You suck.
Look, man, they left Kirk Cousins. They should have benched Kirk Cousins maybe like 2 games prior than when they benched him.
But Raheem Morris wants to be a bro too.
But you got to understand that paying this guy $100 million. I mean, I don't blame them for playing him. I don't blame them for playing him for playing him because you're paying him $100 million. I don't blame them for that. But they should have taken him out a couple of games earlier. But they wanted to do right by Kirk and give him his chance. I mean, he'll never see the field as an Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback ever again, because the young kid, he just happened to just take it and run with it, man. And I love what he's done. I love what Penix is doing. So I just hate that. I hate that for Kurt, and I hate that for the organization. But hey, the money had to go somewhere. I guess we got to spend a certain amount of the cap, regardless. So,
let me ask you this: Are you going to be a fan of the New Orleans Saints this weekend, Matt? Or do you think pigs will fly?
Man, that's a great paint job that I did right there.
In an apartment, might I add.
What was I putting on my turkey sandwich?
Brandon, I will never root for that team in my life.
Nope.
I will never root for that team ever in my life.
How about this? I will cheer on the New Orleans Saints when it snows on the sun.
Hey, look, if the Saints happen to beat the Buccaneers, then you know what? Hey, so be it. But I know the Saints are so petty that they'll probably lose on purpose just so
they will get up and tie the game, and they'll say, you know what? They have a chance to stop them, right? They're like, we have a chance to stop them, get the ball back, get the game-winning field goal. No, they'll say, here's the end zone, just run.
Nail it.
Nail it. Yeah, that's what they'll do. They will literally rip the hearts out of every Atlanta fan. Trey Davis just said, if Atlanta beats Carolina, I won't be mad. We need a better draft pick. But if Atlanta has to rely on the stupid New Orleans Saints to win, again, I'd rather it snow on the sun than
Atlanta should have beat the Commanders. Atlanta should have beat the Commanders. After that long catch by Mooney, there should have been a timeout called.
Hello, Raheem Morris. You have him.
We got 30 seconds left. We can get closer in 30 seconds. We can get closer. Yes. Kick the field goal.
You can even get a game-winning touchdown even. I mean, my God.
Kick the field goal and win the game. I mean, we just kick the field goal. Kick the field goal, win the game. That should have been it. But, hey, Atlanta does what Atlanta does, man.
They don't call us the cardiac birds for nothing. All right, Hank, I'm going to ask you real quick. What is the game you're looking forward to this weekend in the NFL? And why is it that is your game?
I believe the Vikings are playing the Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. The one that I'm the most, if memory serves me correct, that's the one that I like the most so far. I think the team that wins, I believe, is going to get home field advantage, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFC.
If the team that wins gets the number 1 seed throughout. Yes. Now, if Atlanta magically, knock on wood, gets the division, guess who has to play them? It'll either be a really pissed off Detroit Lions, a really, really pissed off Minnesota Vikings. Because a 14-win team gets a stupid wild card, NFL playoffs, ridiculous seating, whatever. What about you,
Yes.
Dustin? What game are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the Cincy game. Cincy's playing Pittsburgh. This could be one of the we could see one of the best years from a quarterback, not even playing the playoffs. Joe Burrow's been.
Burrow's got 4,600 yards. He's got 42 touchdowns.
He's been
literally not be the MVP too. You know.
Well, there's no way. The team success is terrible. They're not going to give him the MVP, especially if he doesn't make the playoffs. They have to beat Pittsburgh, and they have to hope and pray the Jets beat who they play, and that's not going to happen. And they better hope that Carson Wentz has an eagle moment and they beat the Denver Broncos, or they don't make it. So the odds of them making it are very slim to none. And so we have to see not Burrow play, because I think if they were to make it, they beat whoever they play the first game. And we don't have the potential to see that. So I hate that.
What about you, Matt? Which game?
You know the game I'm looking for. We talk.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna admit it. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll tune in.
You might as well take your earphones off and check out now.
I do want to say
Matt
something.
and I will be back and text each other.
I do want to say something about Atlanta.
What?
We said that Penix was going to play against Dallas. It didn't happen. I hate how they have not used Bijan the way they have. I love Bijan Robinson. I think they could run a little bit more. I love Bijan. Obviously, he's from the Longhorns. The running back position is up and coming, I think, in the NFL again. We were sitting there on our show the other night talking about how many 1,000-yard rushers we have, and it's at 14. That's actually phenomenal. We pay all these quarterbacks to do – they can make $40 million a year, and they throw 150 yards a game. I mean, what are we doing? The running back position's coming back. I love Bijan. I hope they will one year use him the way he needs to be used, because I think they have a stud at running back, and I just feel like he is underused. And Penix is going to do great. Kurt, time's is up, man. Should have been I think they should have let Penix play a long time ago. I think Penix could have got them to the playoffs with the easier path.
I like that. Real quickly, if you guys want to get tickets to the Carolina Falcons game, you're only going to pay $25. So, yeah, and it's at the Benz. They're wearing the all blacks. Let's see how it goes. Excuse me. With that being said, guys, this has been a great show. Want to give you all a rundown for what is to start coming for as far as guests go. Look, the next Tuesday, we do not have a guest lineup, but we are working on getting one. I have been in communication with several. I'm not going to tell you because I want to surprise you all for that. Then the 10th, ladies and gentlemen, the South Carolina Ravens. They are back on our show. Look, they're only like 4 weeks away from the start of training camp and everything, so they're going to come on. Every time they come on, you guys know we have a good turnout. About 2,000 to 3,000 people follow. Additionally, view the show at the time. I'm excited about that. Then the 14th comes, guys. I have connections literally anywhere, and I got my connection for who was the one that told me to mention to Craig Angeles about the Nike deal. Mr. KC Smithworth is going to be coming on to talk some Mountain West Conference sports as well as some UH sports. I have that lined up. Maddie Hudek, our SI beat writer from our beat writer for SI.com for covering Tulane University. She will be coming on sometime either the end of January, early February. She's going to talk to us about Tulane's recap of the football season, as well as talk about how the basketball season is going to line up for the AAC, the All-American Conference. I have that one I'm excited about. We have so much more. I'm not going to share you guys everything because that's too much to talk about, but we have Abe Gordon, who will be coming back on. Our good friend Matt loves every time Abe comes on the show because he gets good content, and Matt labeled last time as the third time's the charm. Matt, this is going to be the fourth one where I'm looking forward to having Abe come on. Brandon Leak from 680 The Fan will be joining the show to talk to us about the Atlanta sports world. We know Atlanta has a formidable market, and Atlanta also makes the biggest boneheaded decisions. So we'll see what Brandon has to say with that one. Look, I have a beat writer for USA Today he actually covers UCLA. He will be coming on. His name is James. I'm not going to point his last name out, but his name is James. He will be coming on. He is with the USA Today, though, however. So I've got some good lineups. I do have the SID from University of Anchorage, Alaska, coming on our show. He will be coming on at the end of February. So, yes, I have that lined up. So we have a lot of good things. Ku'ole Agmanyani, she will be coming on. Remember, Hawaii Sports Radio Network. She has agreed to come on as well. So we are looking forward to having her come on. We have some contacts in Massachusetts. We have some contacts going on at North Dakota State. The athletic director of North Dakota State is coming on in March. Yeah, so stay tuned. We have a lot of fun stuff. Matt is working on getting some more merchandise, some ball caps with a Sportz Nutz logo on it. Shane is working on getting the tumblers again with the Sportz Nutz tumblers. I'm going to be getting some more shirts. We're looking at getting pullovers, hoodies, visors, jackets, you name it. We're only getting there. And look, guys, we have this guy right here. We got him.
Yeah.
We got Hank. And if you guys want to have some other talk besides covering sports, check out the Hank Russell Invitation on YouTube. Dude has got some amazing. I mean, like literally, I've watched all his shorts. I've watched his episodes. He's really good. He knows his stuff. He is based out of Memphis.
Yes, and I'll say this, man, too. I was going to talk to Matt about Matt. Well, we'll talk about it off camera more, but I've got some pretty cool ideas for this show too that I've talked to with Brandon, and I'm going to talk to with Matt off camera as well. And man, we're going to have some fun, man. And I'm trying to get some, and I'm just going to be honest with our audience. I'm trying to get press passes to be able to go within the tri-state areas of Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee right now, so that I can start, doing press and, bringing it back here with the Sportz Nutz podcast. So there you go.
Hey, we also we will have Pete from the Columbus Clingstones. He is going to come on. Look, guys, baseball in Columbus, Georgia. As everybody knows, they left Mississippi. They're now in Columbus. They start up. They're playing coming soon. So we're going to have them on to give an update on everything. So we're looking forward to it. We will also have the Hub City Spartan Burgers. Yes, that's a true name. The general manager of the Spartan Burgers is going to come on our show. I'm looking forward to talking with him. I'm eager to find out why they chose a retired collegiate name versus something more fancy dancy. Because the mayor of Spartanburg said it was going to be something related to trains, and obviously it wasn't. It's related to a hamburger. So with that, it's just no. All right, as you guys saw, Matt has created a wonderful introduction. It will be spiced up again. It will look pretty, even prettier, I should say. But guys, we will be back again with you all next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. The boys are back. We're back. Season 3 is here. And so for our good friend, Mr. Shane Owen, as you guys heard him say, peace, love, and bacon grease. Dustin, what are you going to say to send off to these wonderful people?
Well, first of all, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come on here and hang out with y'all for, I guess about 2 hours or so. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I do want to say, please go follow Tired Sports, man. Like I said, he can put it back up there at the end of the show. If you scan that QR code, you can follow us on all our socials. Our next show will be Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Please come and check us out, man. I hope all of y'all come and interact with us and come and see what we're about over there at Tired Sports. And also, I do want to say that we have just recently branched out and started to create our own network. We have a couple podcasts that have joined us. And, we're excited about that expansion and what we're trying to do here at Tired Sports. And come and check us out and see what we're about as well, and come and interact with us and comment. And it's a lot of fun. We get crazy sometimes too. So it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, Trey, for that. We appreciate it.
Hey, Trey Davis. Hey, sorry, Trey. I just want to let you know hamburgers are not the best mascot. And I do know that their side mascots are ketchup and mustard. So, yeah. I was so disappointed when they made that announcement that it was a hamburger. I'm like, what? Wow. That's just me. All right, Matt, what do you tell these lovely people?
Guys, just, past the holidays, we're into the new year now, which is crazy. We haven't mentioned that, Happy New Year's to everybody, Happy New Year's. We're in the new year now, guys. That means, what, everybody has their New Year's resolutions. don't need New Year's resolution, guys. Just follow the same mantra. Just don't get flagged in life. Just make sure if you're gonna drink, stay at home. Call an Uber. Just get home safely. And all you got to do is just follow the rules
and call him.
So don't get flagged. Don't get flagged.
Call him. Matt has all the Uber passes you could ever want.
I'm not getting my Uber pass.
Hank, what do you tell these lovely people, man?
Man, I'm looking forward to season 3. I hope that I am as welcomed into your hearts as you are in mine. That's all that matters, because I got nothing but love for this channel so far, and all these. And so far, Dustin is the standard test here, and he's been awesome. So if we get more guys like Dustin on here, then I've got it good. So y'all check me out on the Hank Russell Invitation if you get bored. And that's on YouTube, and you can check me out on TikTok as well, but I don't get on that often. So.
Trey, stop hating on the Clingstones. The reason why they named the Clingstones, yes, that they are peaches that are grown in California, but it's the Georgia peaches. Come on now. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Hey, guys, you know what I always say? Peace up, H-Town down. Why? It's literally the best sports town that's ever existed, and I don't want to hear any of the nonsense. Matt, bite your tongue. Raheem Morris can go.
No comment.
With that being said, with no comment. With that being said, guys, I'm going to play, of course, our intro video as our outro so you guys can see it. Again, we will see you guys again on Tuesday at 7:30 with the 4 beautiful faces of myself, Mr. Matt, Mr. Hank, and, of course, Mr. Shane. Dustin, we thank you so much for coming on, man. We have a blast. We will do this again. And next time, Derek, get your butt on this show too. We want to have everybody for better interaction. Let's go. Guys, we will talk to you soon. Oh, wait, we got a quick comment from Trey Davis. Happy New Year indeed. Guys, we hit 50 comments tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. Until Tuesday, you guys have a wonderful evening. Bye.